Apocalypse.
Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a very different video for you guys, and that is, why do we always get SD card errors on our GoPros and on our cameras and camcorders? How do we fix it, and what's really the problem? Break it down. None of these devices actually tell you on their websites what is really required to run them. Now, SD cards go for very high prices, and they also go very cheap, and in most cases people will spend a lot of money on a camera before they'll spend a lot of money on an SD card. Now here's why you actually need to spend a decent amount on an SD card, and this will actually solve all your errors. Take an SD card like this. This one right here is a 32 gig micro SD HC card that's a class 10 as indicated by the circle, that's made in Taiwan. Now where it's made is not a big deal. An SD card can come from anywhere and be good quality. However, what we're going to focus on is the fact that this one is a class 10. Now most websites and cameras will tell you that a class 10 is what's required, even GoPro, and that's including the Hero 7 Black, which supports 4K. Even cameras like this, which is the Panasonic, which has 4K, and even the Pantex, which is a very high powered DSLR. But the problem is that nobody's mentioning is the fact that class 10 is only the bare minimum. The moment you bump up any of your settings, you're not going to be able to use it. Now, class 10 has always been the leader for SD cards because of the fact that we've never really had 4K, we've never had all the power coming out of these action cameras, and let's just face it, nobody's really heard of the other options. Class 10 is so well spoken of that this is everybody's #1 choice as a go-to SD card. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be this exact specific generic brand. There are other SD cards that you can get, just like this one here. Now this SD card right here is also a class 10. It's a little bit better of a performer, but when it comes to the 4K and all the high-powered video footage that you're going to record, is this really worth it? No, this is still not going to do the job, but this is definitely a better bet for most cameras than using the generic brand. Moving on to this, the SanDisk Ultra Plus. This one actually has a little bit better of an outcome than most of the other SD cards. Why do you ask? Well, it's very simple. This one is a class 10. However, what we're going to focus on is this right here. Now, I'm sure you can't see it in the actual video, but you can see there's a marking there, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. The SanDisk Ultra Plus has an indication that this is a V10. Pump the brakes. I'll explain what the V10 stands for in a second. The SD card that you actually want to get for anything that's running 4K, be it an action camera or this camcorder here, is the SanDisk Extreme, and this one right here indicates that it's a V30. Now again, we've just went from a V10 to a V30, but what does the V stand for? What are these? Most people are accustomed to a traditional class 10 SD card, and that's that. However, when it comes to video speed, this is where the V comes in. You need an SD card that has the correct video speed. There are several different options. We have a V10, we have a V30, we have a V60, and we also have a V90. Now obviously, out of the bunch of them, the V90 is the most expensive and is extremely expensive. An SD card like this one, which is 128 gigs, you can usually find on sale for $40 to $50 or all the way up to $100. This V10 here, you can usually find for about $30 in store. Of course, these all determine and depend on what gig you get. You know, a lower gig is going to be a lower value than a larger gig. Now, to further explain on why the V matters, well, the video speed is what's required. Now, if you're taking videos, naturally, video speed is without a doubt what you need, and most people don't understand that because it is not advertised. On GoPro's website, they advertise that you need a class 10. However, if you do purchase it, they will usually include one of these for free, but for a lower gigabyte, obviously to save money. Now, when the truth be told, when you get an SD card error, it's because of the fact that the video upload to the SD card is way faster than what the SD card can handle. That's where the different speeds come into play. Now, I know everybody's thinking like, you know, wow, mind blown. Who would have ever thought that an SD card actually mattered and that you actually had to spend a decent amount of money on an SD card? Well, it's the truth. And honestly, if you have enough money to afford any of these cameras that are shown on screen, I'm pretty sure you have enough money to be able to invest in the SD card. And if you cannot invest in the SD card, then I would totally reconsider purchasing any type of camera like this, because all you're going to get is errors. You're going to have corrupted data. You're going to have where it just stops recording and the entire memory card gets burned out. And yes, that can happen. You can totally corrupt the entire card to where it's not recoverable and the SD card is shot and no longer usable. They also have heat temperature readings. So inside of the GoPro, for a prime example, they get extremely hot. Now, when they get hot, obviously the SD card will take a beating from that. So you need to make sure that you get an SD card that can handle the heat. These will withhold a higher temperature because the V speed, the V60, the V30, the V90, the V10, whatever it is, it's already equipped and prepared to handle what's being thrown at it. You know, just like a car, you know, same thing. You have your V6, your V8, and you have your supercharged, you know, V8s. You have your V10s, the W16s. You have these different cars, and the reason they have bigger motors is because they require more horsepower for what they're built for. Well, the same thing with the cameras. You need the correct V rating speed to operate these, and that is why you are getting your SD card errors. Hopefully I have solved your problems and this has simplified and made you guys aware of the actual issue. I'll leave a poll up here on the side. If this has actually helped you, go ahead and click that and you can comment on that and click whether this has helped or if this has not. Hopefully this has, because honestly, out of all my experience with these cameras, that is the only issue I've ever come across, and that is exactly how to solve it. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
The apocalypse.